Hey, English 101. This is the overview for your final portfolio assignment. So, if you've made it to this point, that means that you've submitted all of your previous composition assignments, E1, E2, E3, and E4. In this class, in place of a final exam, you submit a final portfolio. Again, there is no final exam. There's just this portfolio assignment. It's my goal that we are assessing students in English 101 on the items that they feel that they did the best on your best work. Not everything, because not everything that you compose will be awesome, but the things that you want to highlight and say, hey, these pieces really do demonstrate that I am ready to move out of English 101. I am ready to be a college level compositionist. And so those are the things that I'm going to kind of overview for you in this assignment. So first, I'm in the all composition assignments link. This is the very last assignment, so you have to scroll all the way to the bottom in Blackboard. When you get here, of course, you will have the instructions on how to submit it, but also know that there are examples posted of previous students' final portfolio. So that you can look at both of those examples to get an idea as to what you or how you might approach this assignment. All right. So the first thing I want to say about a portfolio, right, is that you can have lots of different types of portfolio. Some people, if they're, musicians, have a music portfolio, or if you draw, you might have a portfolio of your drawings. It's a collection of things that you've done in one particular area or genre that you use to showcase your talents, right? So it's the best of the best. It should represent who you are and what you can do. With that idea in mind, in your final portfolio in this class, we'll have 4 pieces in it. 4, let's see if I can count today, right? These 4 pieces that you will have in your final portfolio will include a visual cover that will encapsulate yourself, your experience in this class, and the pieces that I'll see in the portfolio. You can attack that however you want. It just has to have visual elements to it. It has to have a portfolio introduction. There are bulleted lists here of what I'd like you to include in your introduction, but what I want you to know is that it can take any written form that you would like. It can be a letter, it can be a poem, it can be a rap, it can be a bulleted list. It's however you want it to go. However, it does have to be text formatted. I've even had people do them as haikus. It just kind of depends on what you're feeling, right? This introduction should do just that. It should tell me how you feel you did as a student in this class. What are your strengths and weaknesses when it comes to composition? What pieces you put in this portfolio and how you revise them. The last 2 things that should be included in this portfolio are thoroughly revised pieces from throughout the semester. So you can choose from E1, E2, E3, or E4, whichever 2 that you would like. You're going to spend time, as we have, doing peer review, getting feedback from me in conferences, revising them, making them the best version that they can be, and then you'll include them as the last 2 items in this portfolio. In terms of making those choices, I do really want you to think about what you feel the strongest about, but also the things that you think best showcase you as a college level compositionist. So also included in this assignment, we'll see the course objectives here. And I've highlighted specifically the ones that I'm hoping to see strong evidence of in your portfolio. So I'd read through those, look at the things that you've done this semester, and then decide, hey, these are the 2 things I want to submit in my portfolio. Get all of that feedback, do all of those revisions, and then you're going to submit it. All right. So a couple of more things about what I mean by extensively revised, right? The rest of this stuff y'all can read on yourself, right? I don't want new things. These are not restarts, they are revision. So for example, if you choose to revise our E1 group assignment, you can't decide, you know what? I don't like the Netflix item that our group chose, so I'm just going to choose a different item and write a new paper. That's not what I want. I want to see extensive revisions to what is already there. If you choose to do the group paper for one of your portfolio items, then you do have autonomy now, right? It's only you making the revision decision. So you can decide the order. There might be things that you didn't agree with including that could come out. It might be things that you wanted to include that you can put in. But the thesis, the main focus of the paper, and the topic you cannot change, right? And I do expect that no matter what you do, that these are not just surface level revisions. I don't want you to fix just the MLA, although if it's wrong, fix it. I don't want you to just fix a couple of spelling errors. I really am looking for revisions. That is content level changes. What are you adding? What are you taking away? What are you moving? What are you rearranging? Whether that's dividing or just totally flipping things around. And I do expect to see at least about a 15% difference between the original submission and the submission revised I see in your portfolio. All right. So that's pretty much the overview of those things. Again, they're examples of all the pieces, and I do expect that you will read this assignment fully. I just kind of wanted to give you an overview of it. Also, while we're looking at this example here, I wanted to say to you that this portfolio is worth a third of your grade, right? There is no getting credit for English 101 without doing a portfolio. So this is an example of a cover. This particular student chose to do a letter for their introduction. I want you to notice the setup of it, right? There is a header, last name and page number, and it's for the entire document. This particular student chose to do 2 essay revisions for their portfolio. So they're all included in this document. You'll see here is where the introduction ends. And then we have our first revised composition assignment. Again, the MLA heading information, title, and I'm asking that you highlight the major changes that you make. Don't highlight every, new citation or every new, comma that you place in. But the major things you want to draw my attention to, I want you to highlight them. So this is her first essay submission. And then the works cited page. And her second essay submission. And then the works cited page. She created the image for her cover, so there is no citations for that. But if you use images from a different place, you'll need to do that as well. Just want to give you an idea of what it looks like. All right. Beyond that, the last thing I kind of just wanted to talk about a bit today is the importance of the grading in this, right? So for some of you, you will have done podcasts and videos for your E1, E2, or E3 assignments. That's great. All of those can be revised and submitted in your portfolio as well. The rule is that at least one of the things that you're revising has to be written. So at least 1 essay and 1 multimodal composition if you want to, but you can do 2 essays if you would like to. The other rule is that if you've chosen to do a lot of things in our class collaboratively, which is your option, at least one of the things that you submit in your portfolio has to be something that you did individually. So keep that in mind as you're making your choices as well. So also included in your assignment, you'll see at the top right next to the examples is the rubric for the final portfolio, so that you can look and see kind of what your goals are in terms of where you'd like to score, right? So I'm just going to briefly talk about the cover here, right? We have a range all the way from A to F. And the A range says contains all of the required elements while creatively highlighting your personality and generating interest. It makes me say, hey, I can't believe I get to read this for free, right? And that ranges all the way down to meets the requirements in terms of all the required elements are there, to the F range where it's missing all or most of the elements. So I really do suggest that you look at the rubric so that you can make sure that you're kind of checking those items off as you go and you're aware of what they are. And then last, I just want to leave you with another portfolio example that's posted as well. This cover here focuses quite a bit on the student as a compositionist, as well as some of the items that she talked about in her revisions. So again, we have a cover, and then we have an introduction. This introduction was done as an essay. As I said, you have lots of options when you're thinking about how you want to do that. Of course, we have the header, the MLA information, and it has a long intro because they chose to do some of the smaller or shorter pieces in their portfolio. So particularly E2, which started off as 500 words. So I just wanted to kind of leave you there with an overview of the assignment. Of course, as always, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always email me. And you are required to have a final portfolio conference, so you can write them down and we can look at them when you come to your conference with me. And that's about all I have. Y'all have a blessed day.